Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Jeremy's Kitchen. Before we get started on today's video, I want to dedicate this video to two very important people to me. First, my father, Garrie Carter. He's been gone for 3 years and 3 days. I miss you every day, Dad. Also, I'd like to dedicate this video to my amazing and beautiful wife, Lashawnda Robinson-Carter. She had recently passed an exam and is now a certified nurse's assistant. So big congratulations to her. And I decided to make something today in honor of that. I saw a video on YouTube and I knew this was something I could celebrate her with for her. So I'm going to make this today. Today, I'm going to make oven-baked barbecue pork ribs. For this, I have the following ingredients. These are 2 spare pork ribs that I am going to be using. 2 of them because we're going to have leftovers because there's others in the family who want to enjoy them. Olive oil. And the reason I'm using olive oil is because right now I don't have liquid smoke. But that's okay. This will be a good substitute. Brown sugar plus all other sources of spices, which I will run down when I'm using them. And the final part will involve Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put you guys down. And I'm going to create my dry rub. In here is brown sugar. To that, I'm going to add paprika. Good amount of paprika. I'm going to use garlic powder. Lemon pepper. Ground cumin. Give it a little hit with some heat with some cayenne. And salt. Now we're going to mix that all up together. It's 3 o'clock. All right. So now the next step is going to involve our ribs. So let me turn you guys towards my sink. The first thing we want to do with these ribs is we need to take off the silver part. It's called the membrane. Now the reason we need to take this part off is because it's hard to chew once it's baked. That, and it also prevents a lot of our spices from going into our meat. So that's why we gotta remove it. So it's being kind of stubborn. So Try and get a little bit more off this way. Got it. Membrane. Okay. So that was one. Let me try and get the other one. This part's frustrating as hell. Okay, this one's giving me a little grief, so I'm gonna work to get this off, but you don't have to be here for me to do it. So we'll be right back with the next step. All right, guys, we're back. I just got the membrane off completely. And now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse these ribs off with some cold water, front and back. You may notice I also have here some paper towel because I'm going to put a rack of ribs onto the paper towel and then I'm going to pat it dry. So at this point, let me turn you around back to face me. I should also tell you, my oven is heated to 250 degrees. And once the dry rub is on, I will put this in to the oven for 2.5 hours. I'm going to turn this to the other side now. Pat dry this one. Good. Now, olive oil onto the back side of the ribs. Rub that all in. Good, that'll work. Be careful of any sharp bones like that one. Just be very careful. That's all. Can't really cut that out right now, so. All right. So, now I'm going to use my dry rub onto the rib. One side of it at least. Sprinkle it all on to our ribs. And massage that in. Good. Now, I'm going to take our ribs and we're going to transfer them onto a sheet pan with aluminum foil. The side that you just dry rubbed, put it spin that side down. And now you're going to repeat the same process that you just did. Olive oil. Rub it in. Dry rub. Okay, so my spice is now rubbed in. I'm going to do the same thing with the same rack of ribs, but first, when it comes to this, so now we're going to take our aluminum foil and we're going to tightly wrap up our ribs, just like that. This is going to go into our 250-degree oven for 2.5 hours. But before I do that, I want to get it all there in the same amount of time. So, with that said, I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did with this rack of ribs right here. It's not lamb. Sorry about that. I actually went to a meat market recently, but it was a smaller one, but they didn't have lamb at that point in time. I was looking for it, but one day that will happen. I want that to happen so badly. Okay, let's do the same thing we just did. Speaking of lamb, the last thing I made were those rustic croutons. The reason they were so soft, unlike regular croutons, was they're not made for salad. I figure because of how it was soft, it's supposed to be a side starchy dish served with lamb that Chef Ramsay did. Now, I could be very wrong about that, but I'll have to try that again when I have lamb at my disposal. Okay, spice, dry rub here. More. Not bad. All right. So my second rack is now seasoned. Now we fold it up tightly, seal it. Good. Yeah, I figured. I'm gonna cook them all on one tray. That works for me. Okay. So now that that's done, our oven is heated at 250 degrees. And now these are going in for 2.5 hours. All right, she's in. I'm gonna set the timer here right now for 60 minutes, then another 60 and another 30. So we will come back in 2.5 hours and we will see what they look like. By the way, it is currently 3:15. So we'll see what time it is when we come back. Okay, guys, we're back. We are now 54 seconds away from our ribs being pulled out of the oven. So, what's going to happen is I need to take those ribs out of the oven, heat the oven to 400 degrees, unwrap my ribs, place the unwrapped ribs and the juice on this tray, brush them with barbecue sauce, and stick them back in the oven for another 15 minutes. We are now 23 seconds away. Let me get my oven mitts. Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. Smoky. All right, easy, easy. Okay, before I do that, oh yeah, I also had sweet potatoes cooking as well. Those are done. I can clearly tell that. Okay, so heating the oven. $400 degrees. And, okay. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's unwrap one first. Oh, wow. Ooh. Bones come out pretty easily. You know what? I need... yeah, there we are. Tongs. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's one. Looks good so far. Cool. Okay, there we go. Guys, take a look at our barbecue spare ribs so far. The dry rub has seeped into the meat. It looks amazing. Okay, so now we have one more step to take. We are currently brushing some barbecue sauce onto our ribs. Cool. Might as well use what's left of our in this bowl. All right. Oh, man. One more. This one looks like it needs a little bit more. And we are good to go. All right. So right now, our oven is currently preheating up to 400 degrees. Remember, it was at 250 for 2.5 hours. So once that's done, these ribs go into the oven, the 400 degree oven, for 15 minutes. After that, we let them rest for another 15 minutes, and then they will be good to eat. All right, so once that oven's heated, we'll do all that we just said, and we'll see the finished product in a bit. All right, guys, we're back. We now have 42 seconds until we pull the final product of ribs out of the oven. My side dishes for dinner are also complete, including green beans and sweet potatoes. My wife requested this, so this is her night, and she's getting what she asked for. 20 seconds away. Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, up. Whoa, wow. Oh, wow. Look at this. I'm currently shutting the oven off, and I'm bringing the ribs over to you guys. Wow. Come here. All right, take a look at our oven-baked barbecue ribs. Those look absolutely delicious. Okay, let me put you guys down right now, because now I gotta do the next hard step. Transfer them off of this hot pan to this cool cutting board. And from there, we let them rest. Well, maybe not as hard as I thought it was. Any mess that's left, I will clean it up. Yeah, good. All right, guys. I'm currently going to set the timer for 15 minutes. And now our ribs are resting. Once they're done resting, I will cut into them. All right, guys, we are now 42 seconds away from our ribs being fully rested. So before I put you down, take one more look at our 2 racks of our oven-baked barbecue baby back ribs. And yes, that's what I'm going to call it. All right, 17 seconds away. Let me put you guys down. Three seconds. All right, so now carefully cut these ribs. Wow. Perfect. See, this is what happens when you let your meat rest after you cook it. It comes out soft, juicy, and it's definitely much more easier to cut. Wow, they're big too. Perfect. Unbelievable. That's one rack. Yeah, I think I'm cutting on the bone right there, so. There we go. Oh, by the way, after 2.5 hours, I put the ribs in the oven for the first time. 2.5 hours later, it was 5:15. These bones are coming out pretty easily. There we are. I'm going to save that piece. Done. Yes. Okay. All right. So first, look at that mountain. Come over here, guys. Now take a look at the top of our oven-baked barbecue baby back ribs. Okay, put you guys down one more time. I'm gonna take these ribs, put them right into our microwave. Let them stay there until everyone gathers for dinner. But you know, I want my baby back ribs now. Sorry, I knew I had to do that. That's why I saved this one piece, so I can try it for you guys. Cheers. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I taste the smokiness of the barbecue sauce. It is soft, delicious, and wow. Mm-hmm. This came out perfectly. All right, you guys. Well, this was extremely successful. Once again, this was our oven-cooked baby back ribs. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below. Until next time, this is Jeremy saying, Bon appetit!